a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
A half-blood of the eldest gods shall listen to this bonus show against all odds.
I'm Charlie from Cabin 13.
And I am Ray from Cabin 12.
Boy, okay. I mean, last month we did one of your hyperfixations.
Indeed.
So, this time we get to do one of mine.
Charlie's turn.
But we're only going for one episode, because I'm trying to get us, like, to do some things that relate to the book we're talking about, okay? We're in Labyrinth right now, and so we gotta talk about some Labyrinth stuff.
Indeed.
In this episode of The Librarians.
This is episode 3 of The Librarians, and
yes. I
didn't give myself enough time before we did this, but I was wishing that I would have watched the first two for, like, the setup, because, like, it was really interesting. I had a good time.
Yeah, I mean, you do miss, like, a little bit of stuff, but also, like, I think you still get, like, enough from this episode.
Yeah, it's,
like,
it's
they
perfectly serviceable as a standalone story, as an episodic thing.
Yeah, because, like, that's kind of how this show is. I feel like a lot of it is very good, episodic, like, tight things.
So I don't know if it's just because... Oh god, I cannot remember his name. But the actor who is Elliot in Leverage is one of the characters here. Yes. So I'm picking up, like, some serious Leverage vibes. Like, episodic, like, almost heist things, like...
I mean, it's not necessarily have to be a heist every time.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, yeah, so let me explain the premise of The Librarians to the listeners, and Ray, if you didn't already understand what it was from the one episode of the show, here you go. So they have to, like, find magical artifacts, and, like, keep them safe in the library. That's the big thing. They are the librarians. They're the ones who do the stuff in the library. And then the setup that you missed is that, like, there's technically only supposed to be one. Flynn is the one. He's not here in this episode. And then, like, there were bad guys who were trying to kill off all the potential librarians. The people who would be picked, like, after him.
Mm-hmm.
It's always gotta be, like, a really, really smart person. Someone who knows, like, really knows their shit. These are high intellectuals. And then Ezekiel, who is a thief.
Wow.
Listen, that's kind of how the show treats him too, okay? It's like they're chosen for a specific purpose, and it's because, like, they have the skill set. Flynn, his whole thing is that he was like a combination of all three of them all at once. Like, he was a polymath. Literally had, like, 20-something degrees, and shit. Yeah, the show is I love this shit. Okay. Yeah, so they're the librarians in training, at least in this season. And Eve Baird, the colonel lady, she is their guardian. There's always one librarian and one guardian. The guardian keeps the librarian alive. She's the brawn to his brain. And it's insinuated that it's usually a guy librarian and a girl guardian from the media of the library that we have.
Right. Fascinating. Even
though we have Cassandra, who is the only female librarian that we know of in the show. Yeah. And then there's Jenkins. We don't get the backstory for him yet, but he's really cool. I love him. He's one of my favorite characters. He's the old man who, like, just does, like, weird experiments on the things. He exists.
I love his horrible, unethical vibes. I can't remember that actor's name either, but he's, like, a classic comedian. He's the dad in the 10th Kingdom. So, and I know he was on Night Court. I don't know. I should have left my pages open after I googled this shit, but
Oh my goodness.
But I did notice him as well.
Yeah. Also, you said Leverage before. That's a show that I have not watched, but I've heard about, and I know I need to watch it. It's on my list.
You would fucking
I'm
love
like,
Leverage.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. So I got to.
I haven't seen a
also
lot of it, but it's very good.
I think I found all of it on Prime Video, so I'll be watching that soon. But I need to explain one last thing for you before we get into the episode, is that this crew is literally a D&D party.
They are, you're so right. Like,
literally, Cassandra is, like, the wizard, Ezekiel is the rogue, I think I mapped this out. I think, Stone is, like, the fighter type. Yeah. And then, did I make Baird also a fighter? I do in fact have character sheets for them, because I wanted to figure out where they would be. What did I make Baird? Is she just also a fighter? Load! Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's how they work, honestly. They're very cool, okay?
So, the inspiration for the name Cassandra is obvious. Like, she's their, like, seer kind of person.
I had thoughts about this in this episode. I was just like, wait a second. That's also a Greek mythology thing. Why didn't I think of that?
Ezekiel, though, that's an interesting name for someone to have for this. That's a prophet in Judaism and Christianity. I'm looking at the wiki page for Ezekiel to see if I can figure out why that would be his name.
Yeah, that's what I just did too. I'm like, what? Explain.
Ezekiel means God is strong or God strengthens.
That doesn't help. Why?
Who could say? Maybe they don't all have to be something.
Yeah, I guess.
But Cassandra is, like, so clear that it's like I was kind of hoping the other ones would have, like, fun little.
Yeah. Eve's name comes up in I believe it's the next episode, which is the Christmas special. Because plot twist, she was born on Christmas Eve, and that's why her name is Eve.
Aww.
Yeah, they save Santa. Like, this show is so random and good. I love it. Anyway, let's talk about this fucking episode, because it's about the labyrinth, and it's so good. Okay?
It was amazing.
Tell me it wasn't amazing. It was. Okay? We open up, and literally, there's this guy who's running through, like, an office building, and he gets murdered by something that we don't see, and there's these two hooded figures that are, like, muttering in Greek, and then they just randomly talk about, like, yeah, let's get some, like, lunch for the meeting.
Yeah, they take off their black robes, they get into an elevator, and they're, like, talking about, like, their business acumen.
Like, that sets up the vibes for the show so well.
I found it really interesting that, like, this is a show about them collecting magical artifacts, like, specifically, but they're very definitely trying to do a hard magic system with, like little bits of sci-fi mixed in there.
We have to have the sci-fi, because, like, that's Cassandra's, like, whole thing, is that she's the science math person, and then, Stone is, like, the artsy fartsy person, and then Ezekiel's a thief. If you want a good Ezekiel episode, there are a couple. I love him so much. The fairy tale one, is very good, because he gets to be the Jack, the only person who comes out good in a fairy tale. Everybody else gets, like, killed or worse, and, like, the Jack comes out scot-free. So
you just gotta be a good enough thief, and it all works out.
It's great. And then another episode is, like, they get stuck in a video game, but it's not a video game. It's very weird, and he gets to be, like, the first person player, and the rest of them get their memories wiped the entire time. And he goes through, like, some great character development in that episode. It's an episode that makes me cry. We might have to talk about it, because, like, the MacGuffin in that episode is Atlantean crystal. So I might just make us talk about it for that one reason. Yeah. So they gotta go like do a thing. They gotta go be librarians, and like this whole plot is like it's so early on. They're not really great at that stuff yet. They could still get killed. Baird
Yes.
doesn't want them to get killed.
So, what's her name? The guardian?
Baird or Eve.
Baird. Okay.
She's the colonel. Yeah.
So she spends the whole episode like having to go through this little arc about like wanting to protect them like they're civilians or wanting to order them around like they are part of the military, and she has to like learn to treat them as librarians instead of either of those things.
Yeah, they're like the secret third thing.
Librarians.
The three genders: civilians, military, and librarians. That's it. We did it, folks. So the clippings book, which is like this little magical thing that like tells them newspaper random stuff that's happening. It tells them that there are missing people. They shouldn't be connected, but they all are because they all went missing in Boston. This clearly happened like right near me. Like I could go to, what is it called? Golden Axe. Is it like foods or something?
No,
is it just Golden Axe?
Yeah. Just they didn't say what it does at all. It's just a company, as far as I can tell.
I thought they said it did something. I thought it was a food company, but now you're making me rethink my entire brain because this is something that I don't think about when I watch this episode. So
yeah, I wasn't paying that much attention. So maybe they said and I just missed it, but
yeah,
they were just talking about like stocks the whole time.
True, exactly. I wrote down the Golden Axe thing because, like, we talked about this already, when we were talking about, like, the labyrinth, like, Labros, right? That was, like, something about an am I right? I'm just, like, extrapolating at the moment.
Okay, I just Googled it, and you're totally right. It's Golden Axe Food Company. I just missed that.
Cool. Yes, Labris. Sorry, it means double-bladed axe.
Oh, is that why they always give him an axe?
We had this discussion.
I do not remember it whatsoever, so that's great.
This was like chapter 3 or something of this season. That's why.
Okay, so, I greatly enjoyed this episode. I thought that it was really, really charming, but I did think that, like, sometimes their logic was a little screwy, including the fact that they were like, the police wouldn't be involved in this because these people all disappeared from different places at different times. We only know that these are connected because they're in the book. But they all were interning for the same company. Like...
Yeah, they do explain that, like, literally. Instead, you should say, like, hey, no, this company is, like, so, like, you know, rich that, like, that's why they can't, like, they can
the police
just, like,
are, like, overlooking
or
this or something. Because if they all work for the same company and 8 people disappear, like, you'd think that someone would notice some shit, but I don't actually know how things work, so...
Yeah. No, you're totally right about that. I was like, wait, you said they weren't connected, but like they literally are.
They literally are.
So, internal consistency, please. Thank you. They have like a whole long thing where they create the magic door, which rewatching it, my brain was just like, you guys didn't need to like go like outside to be like, and here's the West Coast, and here's the East Coast. Yeah, we got it. It's a magic door, okay? It's a wormhole.
We've all seen Howl's Moving Castle.
I haven't.
Charlie, you haven't seen Howl's Moving Castle?
I have not.
The fuck is wrong with you, my boy?
Many things. Yeah, so they go to this place, the Golden Axe Foods, and they literally are immediately sent to the CEO, which is a red flag for them. It's like, we shouldn't have been immediately sent to her. Like, she was sizing us up. And then she sends us to HR? What's happening here? The fact that Baird's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna send them to the HR thing. That's fine. That'll be safe. That'll be great. And I'm gonna go snoop around.
That does not work out for her.
Bro, you sent them into not the lion's den, but the Minotaur's den. Oh, I did it. Yeah, so they fucking get lost, of course. because they're sent into the labyrinth, which is in this just office building. And then, okay, I was writing this down because I was like, this is so good. Literally, they're going into the older parts, like Annabeth wanted in the book. Like, the closer in, like, the older parts, that's how you get to the heart of the labyrinth. That's where, like, Daedalus is. No, it's actually where the Minotaur is in this. I mean, the Minotaur can be anywhere because he's gonna follow you. But, like, the closer they got to the center, yeah.
It does have similar vibes to Percy Jackson, where, like, you can be walking through, like, office building, like, just hallways, and then you can open a door and it'll be, like, cave walls.
Yeah, that was great. And then Baird's sneaking through the office space. I love when she beat that guy up who was trying to follow her. And then
I was wondering what her plan was. I was like, you're not going to get away from that guy. And then she just knocked him the fuck out and stole his keycard. And I was like, oh, okay.
Remember, she works for counterterrorism. She is a fucking badass. Like, she also took out those 2 random guards. She's just like, the librarians are in the labyrinth. She's saying that over the phone, and these 2 guards literally can hear her, and they follow her around the corner. She beats them up while she's on the phone. Like, still talking to Jenkins. Literally, she's perfection. I love her. But she was finding in this office building, there's just a random room filled with Minoan art and a ball of thread.
They thought
in
it was
middle.
the server room. They were looking for, like, records and shit, and because it was, like, climate controlled and had, like, more security. And then it turns out, ancient Minoan art.
I mean, it kind of is the server room. It from a certain perspective, it does in fact keep the place running the way it does. So, yep. Another thing I wrote down is the fact that, like, when the guys are in the labyrinth, Ezekiel's like, well, like, that there can't be a Minotaur. We're not going to run into him. You're that guy in the myth. What's his name? Stone is like, oh, it's Theseus, obviously. Ezekiel's like, well, yeah, he died. Like, Theseus killed him, so we're not going to meet the Minotaur. Yeah, there's a Minotaur.
Oh, Ezekiel.
It's not really explained, if they're a race or if it's the same one. Sometimes the show will explain things, sometimes it won't, you know.
They seem to imply that it's, like, a race to me, because at the end of the episode, Jenkins says something about, like, Minotaurs keeping grudges. And so it seems like when you make a labyrinth, then you can trap a Minotaur in there. And that's just, like, how that works.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain was just like, but it could still be the same one. And
could be.
We don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so Cassandra figures out that she can use her math whiz powers to get them through.
And her brain tumor. What's up with her brain tumor? And does that...
Okay. So her interesting powers is that she has synesthesia, and that plus her brain tumor allows her to see weird visions of, like, math and science in midair and work things out like a computer or faster.
But she's also, like, dying, right?
Yeah, she is. Literally, that is in fact a problem. So in the first 2 episodes, she spoilers, I guess, they say it in this episode, but that she betrayed them. She, like, worked with the bad guys for, like, 5 minutes because they said they were going to heal her with magic and get rid of her brain tumor because it's a death sentence.
So she and Stone had a whole thing this episode because he was, like, mad at her about that stuff.
Yeah, he was like a Minotaur. He was holding a grudge. Yeah, it's a whole thing, and I'm pretty sure that that's done after this episode, but I can't remember. But, like, the brain tumor is still a thing for the rest of the show.
Gotcha.
It is. Yeah. It is still something that is brought up and important, and perhaps maybe removed, potentially.
Dun dun dun.
There's stuff that goes on. Yeah.
So she can, like, kind of see the labyrinth, and she describes it as a multi-dimensional space, which I thought was really interesting. Later on in the episode, they, like, figure out that it's 7-dimensional. Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, so what they say, it's It's 14 people who have to be sacrificed, 7 men, 7 women. So 7.
14 virgins altogether.
Yeah,
I love
okay.
that fucking shit. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, the virgin thing.
Oh
Literally.
my god.
It's
Because
so
Ezekiel's
good.
like, where are you gonna get 14 virgins this day and age?
I mean, you can get them pretty darn easily. They're just like nerds in their bedrooms.
Hell yeah,
Oh wait,
boy.
it's me and I'm not a virgin. Anyway, but the fact that they're like, yeah, it just means unmarried man and unmarried woman. Okay, but then they
or
take
the
it
young,
a step.
or the innocent. Yes, exactly.
They take it one step further to be like inexperienced. Oh, it's the interns.
Interns? Virgin as intern is the funniest shit I've ever heard. That's so fucking good.
This is why I love this show. Okay? You understanding what I'm getting here? It does shit like this all the time. So we also finally get to see the Minotaur like halfway through the episode, and you can tell why we only see it for about 2 minutes on screen.
Nice fursuit, dude.
I forgot, for some reason I was like, it's gonna be CGI, right? I can't remember what this looks like, actually. I think it's worse. I think it's worse than bad CGI because it's just a fursuit.
It's low budget shit like this, like old style Doctor Who. That's just fucking charming. Okay. Oh my god.
This is from 2014.
Actually, okay, no. When they're in the labyrinth and they open the HR door and it's the room full of skulls and they're just like, it's like a fucking JPEG, my dude. It's like, the skulls look so shitty.
This is
like, holy shit.
This is from 2014, my dude. It's just because it's a TV show. It didn't get a high budget, okay?
What if that's what the Minotaur and Percy Jackson looks like? Just some kind of pursuit.
My god. There's a reason why later in the episode they're like, we're just gonna modernize him too. Like,
okay, we have
no
to get
more.
to that because I'm so excited.
Yeah, so also Baird tries to shoot the Minotaur, doesn't work, of course, because like, come on, you can't just try to shoot the magical monster, it's not gonna work.
So backstory things, is Baird also new with the rest of the librarians, or has she been at this a while?
No, she's also new. Like,
okay.
So I would consider her to be like the main character of the show, like the point of view character. Because she's how you get this show, the world. Before the show, there were 3 movies that were based around Flynn, but the show is like Baird.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
She's new to this world. They're all new. Jenkins is the only one who's been here for a while. Not gonna tell you how long, but a while.
So yeah, that was the impression I got when she shoots this thing like 7 times and she's like, that did not work. I don't know what to do about this because that did not work. She's like, if I can't kill it with a gun, what is my plan here?
My brain I want to literally compare this to almost the exact scene that happens in Once Upon a Time when Emma is in the fairy tale world and she tries to shoot an ogre and it's like, well, that did nothing. And then her mom like turns around and saves her with like a bow and arrow. It's like, the gun's not gonna work, but sure, bow and arrow.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
fine. That's how magic things work. So Jenkins tries to get the door working. He just barely gets it. They're not going to try that again, but they go upside down through a cabinet.
So
and he
I
saves
love
them.
the explanation for their magic wormhole door that you can teleport to anywhere, even though it's not very exact. So like, you know, they kind of have to nerf it a little bit, but only somewhere with a door. There has to be a door there, and then when you open it, it becomes the door to the library. That kind of slaps. That's fun.
That's always a fun part of like every single episode is that you get to see them all like running through a random door, but like they're like stumbling because the first step always the worst. So you see them like coming out through like a random outhouse, like, you know, like stuff like that where it's just like weird and funny.
Delightful.
Yeah. This show is, it's just, I would say it's like a combination of like Once Upon a Time, Indiana Jones, and Doctor Who.
And Leverage.
And and Leverage, a show that I have not seen, but
exactly.
sure.
That's why I'm letting you know.
I believe there's also another show that has like a very similar premise to this called Warehouse 13 that I also need to watch.
I feel like I've heard of that. I had never heard of this show until this, which kind of surprises me, especially given that like I know some of the actors and stuff.
Yeah, Librarians is so good, man. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so they're out, but like, are they out?
Right.
Are they?
I was
really?
very surprised that they were able to escape the labyrinth. I was like, oh, I thought they were going to spend the rest of the episode in there. I'm almost disappointed. And then they really got me. I was very pleased.
There is something weird about like being in the library does kind of like make you safe from stuff like that sometimes. So like they probably were out of it, but then when they went back into Boston, they were back in the labyrinth.
This shit's so fucking good. So
yep.
So they go back to try and stop the sacrifices from happening. And then God, they see some graffiti that looks like the art that they had seen in the labyrinth, and they're like, wait a
second.
Still in it right now, like on the street, and like they try to ask a woman for directions, and then
that was
like that's
so freaky.
So good. It's so fucking good. She starts talking, but then it gets like all distorted and like they can't understand anything that this woman is saying. Like even that effect was really cool. I love this concept so much that like it's not just that the labyrinth is a physical space. The labyrinth affects
it's a state of mind.
It's exactly.
Yeah. Instead of Empire State of Mind, Labyrinth State of Mind. So yeah, we had that whole like thing where Barrett has to realize that they're librarians and she can't order them around. And we see the Manator.
Oh my god!
Talk about the Manator. Tell me about this man.
So you know, they're on a regular street, so it can't just be a fursuit guy. That would be ridiculous. So this guy steps out, and it's just some dude in like black clothes and like a leather shirt, and he's got long hair and a beard and a fucking do-rag and a nose ring. I cannot. It's just a white guy in a do-rag, guys. And then they use CGI to make his eyes all red and angry. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're gonna watch this show. It's so good. Yeah, So they basically figure out that Cassandra has to be their thread. She has to get them through the maze. In my brain, I'm like, wait, well, she's also, in Percy Jackson terms, she's the Ariadne or the Rachel.
Exactly.
Hey, we gotta have the woman leading us through the labyrinth who can see perfectly. Literally, and she's also ginger. Like, she's Rachel. It's just Rachel, guys.
I want to like connect that to like Dante's Inferno and like Beatrice and like female guide through the
interesting
the darkness.
Was Beatrice I thought what's his name was the guide.
You're right, but I know that Beatrice is some shit, but I only know that because of YouTube videos about Over the Garden Wall and how it's based on Dante's Inferno, so I don't actually know shit.
You're right. I mean, I watched the OSP videos about Dante's Inferno and Dante's I'm forgetting the other words. There's the one in the middle and the Paradisio. I literally can't remember what's the one in the middle.
Inferno, Paradisio, and
what's the place that's not heaven or hell besides Earth?
It's not limbo. It's
Google, help me.
Oh my god.
It's not helping me, Google.
Holy shit.
That's giving me limbo. Purgatory.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like we don't know what purgatory is, guys. We just have word retrieval problems sometimes because of ADHD. One
Literally,
time,
that's what it
as a
is.
child, I couldn't remember what syrup was. It sounded like a fake word, and my mom thought I was faking. She was like, if you can't tell me what syrup is, I'm gonna take you to get a CAT scan because that's dumb. And I was like, I don't know what that is. It doesn't mean anything to me when you say that.
I'm gonna go on a tangent about word retrieval for a second. You're welcome. I also have an embarrassing story about that. I feel like I've talked about it on the pod once, but like literally, I was so happy to like know an answer in class because we were talking about like the having word retrieval problems about this now. The Sphinx's riddle. We were talking about that. And I was literally explaining the thing. I'm like, oh yeah, it's the baby crawling on its legs, and then it's the person on two legs, and then it's the old man with the thing hanging on the thing. I couldn't remember the word cane. Like this still haunts me to this day that I couldn't remember this because I was so proud of myself for knowing this.
Right.
And then I had word
so
retrieval
painful.
problems. Like I don't answer things in class. That's like that was my thing, but I did.
Oh, bro. It really do be like that.
Yeah, anyway, so our tangent was originally about Dante's Inferno. He's led by Virgil through most of it, and then he's led by Beatrice in heaven, I believe. Because because Virgil isn't good enough to go into the heaven space. He can go through hell and through purgatory, but he can't go through heaven, I believe. And that's when Beatrice takes over. But again, I haven't read it. I've only watched the OSP videos.
Right. Anyways.
So back to the library.
Yeah. I don't know that was actually connected, but for some reason it was making me think of that. So that's
fine.
all.
This is that felt like a me theory, more like that. What you just explained sounded like something that I would have come up with, like the Charlie Day thing, like with the I figured it out.
I'm connected the dots. Yeah, no.
You didn't connect shit. I'm rubbing off on you, is what I'm figuring out here.
Well, a lot of times I feel like I want to interpret mythology by like vibes instead of actual connections. I'm like, I feel like this says something about human nature that we keep coming up with stories that have sort of similar vibes, but not actually anything to do with each other. Anyways, moving on.
We'll talk about this another time. So yeah, Cassandra is the one who's leading them through the maze, but it's actually just Cassandra and Ezekiel because we got to have our fighter guys stay back and fight the Minotaur. Literally, Baird and Stone are just Theseus. Apparently, God, it's so funny to me that this show is like, yeah, we're Stone is also one of the smart guys, but also like we can't have all of our smart guys be weak. He's like. He's the rough and tumble like cowboy guy who's secretly smart. So like he's divergent. He's a Troy Bolton type, if you will. The jock with the other side to him.
In Leverage, his place in that team is as the bruiser.
Yeah, I know that. That is the one thing I know about Leverage. Again, everything I know about Leverage is actually from OSP videos. Once again, my God. Because Red just went on a whole tangent about his character, I believe, and specifically how like he doesn't get what's the like there's a nerd term for it, but like basically he's like the big guy who doesn't get nerfed all the time.
Yes, the Worf effect.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so we're going on so many tangents. I'm loving this. And then we also get to a point where this is very overwhelming for Cassandra, and Ezekiel helps her. And I really liked that moment.
Yeah.
The character things where she literally closes her eyes and he is like gonna lead him, but also he's gonna lead her. Anyway, they're trusting each other. This is important.
It's very good.
Friendship. And then they find their way to the middle. And what do you have to do to like get rid of the maze? What is the perfect symbol for a maze but one straight line like woven around itself 1,000,000 times over? Huh? Again, I love this so good.
So to kind of explain like this sort of abstract concept of how this show works, how they explain this whole thing is that the labyrinth is a spell that has been cast by these business people so that they can make their business more successful. It makes their stocks go up when they sacrifice interns.
Right. I forgot to actually talk about the thing in the show that's important.
No.
Whatever.
So this labyrinth is a spell, and they're trying to undo the spell. And spells are cast with symbols. And so this yarn of Ariadne that they have is actually what is making the spell work. So when they remove it, basically the labyrinth itself collapses.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. Also, the fact that like the CEO lady like comes in and she's also got a gun and shooting people when we were literally just like, hey, guns don't like work on magical shit. I mean, she's shooting the people, but like still, it's just so funny to me that we're once again bringing guns into it. And then she literally shatters the glass that Ezekiel was gonna try to cleverly hack.
Right.
It's like, well, that could work too. And then they just unravel it. And it's so cool. It's like, they're gonna be trapped inside of it. Jones and Baird, my goodness, I keep confusing their names because sometimes they call Ezekiel by his last name, but they never call Stone by his first name. They almost never call him Jacob. And we have Stone and Jones. How dare they fucking name these characters like this? How dare you? So Stone and Baird get through the magical door, and then the ball of yarn appears, and they have to like pull the others through this magical void because the labyrinth doesn't exist anymore. So where are they? They're just in the void, literally. And they make it through, and now they have the magical ball of thread. It's great. And, I love that Baird is like, well, now we have to, like, go after the CEO lady. Like, I hope the police go after her, or somebody does. Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, we have to get that woman arrested. She fucking murdered people.
Yeah. But, Minotaurs, they hold grudges.
Don't worry about arresting her. She'll be dead soon.
But also, I feel like we didn't hype the fact that, like, this has been going on for, like, 3,000 years, with this company. Like, some form of this company has existed for, like, that long. And the CEO
this is just
lady...
the modernized version.
Yeah. I know she has a name, but CEO lady, is like, yeah, we don't, sacrifice all 14 at once anymore. Like, optics on that are not great. But also, like, you spread it out through the year. It, like, really raises the stocks, or, like, some weird shit. Like, she was explaining it in business terms, and...
Yeah, she was like, you can't ruin this for me. I finally got it all figured out.
My brain is like, you really could have stopped at, like, yeah, we can't just kill 14 people at once. You can stop there, and I'll get it. But, yeah, that's the episode. Also, I mean, there was some stuff at the end, that was more character things. Labyrinth maze things. Good shit, man. Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I got to my stuff. I found their effects cheesy and delightful. I found their characters interesting. I love the concept. I love the vibe that they're going for here. The kind of sci-fi, kind of like real world, like hard magic stuff.
Like, there are some episodes that are like this, where it's like more like magical mythology kind of stuff, and then there are some episodes that are more sci-fi kind of shit. Like, it goes like into all the different like genres a little bit, and it's really good, and I love it. Anyway, people need to watch this fucking show because it's so good.
Remember when Sophia the First got a magical library that sent her on quests?
Bro, I didn't watch Sophia the First except for like the Elena of Avalor special. I'm gonna be real with
I cannot believe this shit. You didn't watch Sophia?
I literally only know Sophia because of Elena, really, and because of the kids I babysat, who liked Sophia the First. But mostly, it was great because I could watch Elena of Avalor with them too. I need to rewatch
Sophia is definitely meant for a younger audience, but I would say that it's legitimately on par with Elena. Like, if you like that, I think you could watch Sophia fine.
I'm upset that like Elena of Avalor was technically like regular Disney Channel, and then they put it onto Disney Junior.
Yeah,
like
that's annoying.
Like, I'm sorry. It some of, especially the later season stuff, could have been allowed for like older audiences, I think. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We were talking about the Librarians, and we're done now. Anyway,
I'm just saying they stole this concept for in like a late season of Sophia. It was kind of dumb.
I feel like there's a lot of media that has stuff like this.
Yeah, a magic library. Yeah, that's like classic.
This is Magic Treehouse, but with more steps.
Yeah, if any more episodes of this become relevant, I'd be super down.
I would love to talk about like I said, the one with the Atlantean crystal that's like a video game, just because there's not a lot of I think this is the only like really Greek thing that happens. I rewatched it and I went through, wait, no, I'm wrong. There's one more about the Apple of Discord. But there's not a whole lot of like Greek mythology shit they go into here. They have a lot of stuff to go through. Sometimes it's literary, sometimes it's folklore, sometimes it's mythology, sometimes it's straight up sci-fi. Like there's a whole thing with an episode of like Tesla and stuff going on there. Also there's some time travel, and there's Shakespeare. Like there's a lot of shit happening here, okay? I'm just gonna keep going off until we exit this space. I'm gonna go unravel this thread and put us in the void, I guess, because the labyrinth will no longer exist. So,
oh shit!
Goodbye.
Farewell.
Dave X Media.